This is the Divide Travel Bow. It literally divides in half. Unbelievable. This will solve the traveling violinist's issue of walking up to the gate at the airport only to be told, sorry, you can't bring that into the cabin. Okay, so we know about the travel violin cases that are on the market. I myself made some videos previously about them. This is my beloved BAM violin case, airline cabin case, whatever you call it. And look, it's so light, I can even hold it with one hand. I've got my electric violin in here right now. As you might realize, a violin bow is a lot longer than just the flight cases, which are exactly the size of the violin, which is pretty tiny in comparison. And the size of the violin fits within the allowable dimensions for cabin bags to take into the cabin with you. So, Divide bows have come up with this ingenious solution of creating a bow that divides so that it's just as small as the flight cases. I can't believe it. So in this video, I'm going to show you how the bow works, how it plays, and why I think it's a game changer for the traveling violinist, violist, or double bassist, because they make bows for them as well. So how does this work? First of all, don't be alarmed by the hair looking like this, because when you get your bow rehaired, this is what happens. When you unscrew the end screw at the end of the violin bow and then take the frog off away from the stick, this is how the bow hair is then replaced. So this is not damaging the bow in any way, shape, or form. So what you actually have here is the ingenious joint of where the violin bow divides. Now, as you saw, I just slotted that right in there, and then you put the frog back in place. Get your end screw and screw that back in, just like tightening your violin bow at the beginning of a practice session. Are you practicing? I'm not enough. And there you go. You have a bow that's ready to play. It's a professional grade carbon fiber bow, and the only difference that you can tell this apart from a normal bow, which means to say a bow that doesn't divide in half, is this little joint here, where you can see there's a little silver ring. That's the joint where the bow divides. By the way, did you see how quickly I put the bow together? Literally, what, 10 seconds? And I was talking to you too and trying to make sure I'm in frame, so that's multitasking. The model that I have here is the Adventurer Violin Travel Bow. They have lots of different models, different reasons as to why they might be more expensive. It could be a design thing, it could be a build thing, but this is a really, really incredible quality for what is a very affordable bow, and it's professional grade. This bow happens to be one of the lightest they have on the market. I believe it's around 59 grams. That is a little on the light side compared to my standard Pernambuco bow, I think, wooden bow. But otherwise, I have a carbon fiber bow made by Coda Bow, the Marquise GS, and that's a really good carbon fiber bow. But this is comparable. Again, you have that unique point that it divides. So for me, this might be a winner over a normal carbon fiber bow. As I'm speaking to you again, I'm just going to show you how quickly you can divide this bow down. So you just unscrew the end screw. These screws are quite long, so that takes the longest bit. And then once you've done that, you're done. Amazing. Can't believe it. Let's have a speed round of putting it together. So here we go. I'm holding all the pieces. Slot. Slot. It's hard to do this on camera. I'm getting nervous. Done. Okay. Incredible. When you're transporting the bow, of course, it comes with a case. This is the Eva foam case, and as you saw, it slots right in here once it's been divided. And so then you have your bow in there, zip it up, and you're ready to go. This in itself can fit in a backpack, or you can attach it to whatever violin flight case you have. Again, it just so happens that Divide Bows has teamed up with Trinity Cases, who make different violin flight cases than the BAM one I have here. But I mean, just because you buy this bow doesn't mean you can't use it with any other flight case that you have. Obviously, if you have a normal violin case, then the whole thing is big enough for a normal bow, so you won't need it. This is a standalone product by itself, but you can put it with your own flight case of choice. And here I'm showing you the difference in size, in length between the case, which obviously you can imagine the bow folded in there, divided in there, and a standard size violin bow. I'd say, what is that? About a quarter? A quarter difference? That's an incredible feat of engineering. So obviously here where the bow divides, it really, really does take off that vital length of the bow, which is what makes our travel on airlines so frustrating, annoying, and nerve-wracking, to be honest. So when we do the play test, this is what you're going to want to hear. Does that not make a difference? Does that not change the sound? It must make some difference. Let's have a go. Let's test out some legato playing. Okay, very, very good. Plays like any other bow. Bear in mind, we have the joint here, and that's where this bow might be different to other bows, but I'm not detecting anything different other than it's a much lighter bow than I'm used to. But they have other models that are not as light as this one. What about some bouncy bowing? All good, pretty standard. Maybe the balance point is a little bit higher than my bow. I mean, let's find it. You know the test, right? Whoop, there we go. It's a little bit, it's pretty standard. Do you know what we can do to really test this bow out and push it to its limits? Some chopping, some groove playing, some percussive bowing techniques, which I'm kind of known for. So let's do it. We're going to try first with some pitchless chopping. Let's see, because right here at the joint is where you might think that's a weak point of the bow. So this is exactly the kind of area of the bow that you need to do, you need to use for any kind of percussive technique or chopping technique. So let's try it. Okay, not bad. It's slightly lighter than my usual bow. So it's a little bit trickier because, you know, as you can imagine for chopping, you kind of want that heaviness, especially in the lower half here, because that's how you're making your sound. And without the natural weight in the bow, I actually have to exert more force. So for me personally, with the kind of playing that I do when I'm doing groove playing and percussive playing, that would, I'd benefit from having a heavier bow. But don't forget, this is just the lightest one that they make. And let's just play my favorite groove, Le Freak by Chic. For that kind of grooving where you're playing some sort of riff or rhythm plus the percussive aspect of the chopping, it's actually quite beneficial for this bow to be on the lighter side. And of course, it's so robust because it's carbon fiber. That felt good to me. So let's see, what else can we do? If we really go for it at the joint here. It just feels exactly the same as any other bow. Okay, I think it's passed the test. What's my verdict on the Divide Violin Travel Bow? Well, this is the entry-level model, and it's priced at around 428 euros at the time of recording. And I believe the most expensive model is around 648 euros. In fact, I know it's exactly that because I've just looked it up. So it's not around, it's 648 euros. That's a really, really good price range for a professional grade violin bow that's carbon fiber, so pretty much indestructible, and it divides down so you can fly with it and have peace of mind. For me, that's really, really worth having. Would it compare to a fine violin bow that's worth tens of thousands of pounds? Probably not. But if you're traveling with a violin bow and you need a really good backup as a professional, I would say this is incredible. And I'm really, really glad that I own one. Plus you have the whole ecosystem of the violin case that is made by the same company, so everything would fit together so beautifully. That's really, really cool, and everything is so professional and so beautifully designed. You can check out everything about Divide bows, do your research, check them out on their website, their social media channels. I'll put the links down below in the description. Let me know what you think if you end up getting this bow, or let me know what you think of the concept of it. In the meantime, if you have enjoyed this video, please do give me a like and consider subscribing, because there's more where this came from. And of course, if you want to watch another video of mine to whet your appetite, then you can do with my review on the Comisono practice mute, which is pretty incredible. The mute, well, the video is pretty good too, but the mute's good. All right, see you in the next one.